beautiful people. Welcome to 321 No Kidding, Step 4 evening episodes. So this next part is pretty interesting, and I did it before chatting with you, and I'm going to do a better job of putting what we're going to cover tonight in the show notes so that if you're looking on your phone or wherever you listen to the show, you can see the list of what we're going to go over tonight. That way you don't have to memorize it just by listening. So this part of the book is about priorities, principles, and responsibilities. And again, if you're just tuning in, we are working on step 4 because it's April. Admitting that, no. Wow. See, trying to do it by heart is not working. We're working on step 4, which is involving taking an honest inventory about our character defects and our financials. So, working on the priorities part. When joining GA and committing to a new life, and a critical review of priorities, principles, and responsibilities is necessary to determine if they are in the proper perspective. There are numerous items in our lives that are hazardous to our basic well-being. Because of the high priority placed on them, the other areas of life are neglected, which in essence cause growing and continuing problems. If priorities are out of order, they will affect participation in all phases of life. A constant balance needs to be maintained between knowledge of self and communication of that inner self with the outside world. Periodic reevaluation is an essential tool in this phase of moral inventory, as life changes, age, and participation in the program will affect emphasis on priorities. I'm very excited to do this because I on my bike ride Monday night, we were talking about values. And when I was in treatment, I had a list of values on day 1 or 2 when they gave me the assignment. And that list changed, 20 something days later after I had learned and, been exposed to their philosophies on the treatment and recovery. Fast forward now, there's been some things that have happened in the last year. My values changed again. So it's pretty interesting how it does keep changing. And I have a feeling that the priorities will continue to do that too. So the question / homework for tonight is to look at the order of these 7 things. And these 7 things will be what I put in the show notes. And we'll talk about what the book says for each one. Maybe we'll take one a night or 2. We'll see how it goes. But for now, I'm going to read to you what these priorities are. And I'm going to tell you the order that the book says by consensus of opinion. This is how most people rate it. So I'm going to list them that way, as the way most people rate them. And then I'm going to share with you how I rated them tonight. And then, like I said, we can dig deeper into each of these priorities as we go through the rest of the week. So, number 1 is abstinence from gambling. Number 2, myself and my greater power would be the next priority. Number 3, to my family. 4, to my job, vocation, or profession. 5, to my goals, dreams, and aspirations. 6, to friends, neighbors, and community. And 7, to special interest areas. So mine isn't exactly like that. I'm going to tell you what mine are, and I'll tell you why. My number 1 is abstinence from gambling, because if I wasn't abstinent and I wasn't in recovery, I wouldn't have anything else. It's just that simple. I might still have my job, but I would not have anything else sustainable. My second one, and this hasn't always been, is my goals, dreams, and aspirations. And my job, like in the good old days, that probably would have been it was number 1 for a really long time. And I've since learned that there's a whole lot more to work than life. So much more to life than work. Okay, so number 1 for me was abstinence. Number 2 was my dreams. Number 3 was myself and my greater power. So I have to believe in myself and all that to even get to the dreams. So maybe I should have made that number 2. See, this is why we're working on this together. Number 4, I have as family. Number 5, yeah, I don't think I like this either. Number 5, I have listed as my day job. And number 6, my friends and neighbors and community. And I guess the reason I listed it that way initially is because obviously I can't skip work, my income, to go goof off with my friends all the time. However, if there was a friend of mine in need, or, even yesterday when we were dealing with losing a friend and I wanted to be around friends, I did. I shut my computer down a little earlier than normal, and I went and I spent time with them. So that was my priority changing just in a day. And then the last one being special interest, which I can't wait to read what that's about because I don't know exactly what they mean. I can tell you that for me, so that was the broad strokes of my priorities, but they do change. And what I mean by that is, and this is daily, weekly, monthly in some cases. So for example, tonight was group. So that's my recovery. And honestly, I missed group tonight because I was working on my goals and dreams by doing my homework. Luckily, my goals and dreams involve recovery, so I'm actively kind of working on it in a different way. However, I still feel bad about missing group. But there's only one of me and only so much time in the day, which is something else that I've learned about my priorities. So another way I view it on a regular basis, the other thing is there was Zumba tonight, and I missed that as well. And both of those things tie into my own self-care. And an example of a different way of missing these events, or how I told you I can't talk. How I prioritize them is every few months, there's a group of us that get together, and we generally make it around somebody's birthday. That'll be the reason. It was the crew of us that used to work together. I don't know. I guess it's getting close to 10 years ago now, and we all worked together for, 4 or 5 years. So we have these dinners. So these dinners only happen 2, 3, 4 times a year. So if I can't get a night of the week that is free for me, I will make the concession to everybody else's schedule and go on a night and miss a group or a Zumba class, because I can go to Zumba every week, twice a week, more than that. I have options 7 days a week for Zumba, but I don't have options 7 days a week to meet with this group of people. So that's one of my strategies. If it's the frequency is less, I try to participate in the thing that the frequency is less. There's the underlying responsibilities, though, that I just always have, and sometimes, like homework, you can only do so much of it in a day, or whatever that is. It could be cleaning, parenting, working, whatever. I made self-care a priority in my daily routine, whether it's something as little as the drink of water, or something as significant as my meditation, or even going to group of self-care. So that's kind of how I look at it. Like I said, tomorrow we'll get into the deep descriptions of what the GA book says. This is getting even more interesting. So I'm happy to be doing this with you. And what a great way for me to reflect on how I view things differently than a month ago, 6 months ago, 3 years ago, whatever that looks like. So I hope everyone has a great evening. I want to say thank you again for listening. And also, if you could leave a review, that would be super helpful. Spread the word. Rate me. Any of those things would be super fabulous. All right, guys. Have a marvelous evening.